I used to believe love was simple. If I gave everything, I would receive everything. That was the rule I lived by. I worked hard. I stayed loyal. I kept my promises. I thought that was enough. I met Emily in college during my second year. She dropped her books in the hallway, and I helped her pick them up. "Thank you," she said, smiling. "Most people just walk past." "I'm not most people," I replied. She laughed. "I can see that." That was the beginning. Coffee turned into study sessions. Study sessions turned into late-night talks about dreams and childhood memories. One night she said, "I've known Daniel since I was 6. We grew up together." "Daniel?" I asked. "My childhood best friend," she said softly. "We used to say we'd get married one day." She laughed after saying it, but her eyes didn't. I smiled. "Used to?" "Yeah, that was kid stuff." I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was with me. Years passed, and I proposed under the same oak tree where we had our first picnic. "Yes," she whispered before I even finished asking. I thought I had won at life. While planning the wedding, Daniel's name came up more often. "He texted to congratulate us," she said one evening. "That's nice," I replied, forcing a smile. "He says he's proud of me." "For what?" "For choosing happiness." The way she said it felt strange, but I ignored it. Ryan didn't. We were at a bar one night when he leaned closer. "Bro, you sure she's over him?" I took a sip of my drink. "She chose me." "That's not what I asked." "She's marrying me," I said firmly. "That's enough." Ryan sighed. "I just don't want you blindsided." "I'm not insecure," I snapped. "Daniel is her past." But even as I said it, I remembered how her voice softened whenever she spoke about him. A week later, I found her staring at her phone, smiling. "Who's got you grinning like that?" I asked. "Just Daniel," she said quickly. "He's nervous about coming to the wedding." "Why nervous?" "He thinks it'll be weird." "It won't be," I said. "He's your friend." She hesitated. "Yeah, just my friend." I should have pressed further. I didn't. Wedding invitations were sent. My mother cried tears of joy while sealing envelopes. "She's perfect for you," Mom said. "I know," I replied. But whispers started floating around campus. Didn't Emily date Daniel for years? I thought they'd end up together. I confronted her gently. "People keep talking about you and Daniel." She looked annoyed. "Are you listening to rumors now?" "I'm asking you." She grabbed my hands. "I love you, not him." "Then why does it feel like there's something unfinished?" "There isn't," she insisted. "You're overthinking." I told myself she was right. One evening, 2 months before the wedding, she left her laptop open on our kitchen table. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for a venue receipt. That's what I tell myself. A message notification popped up. "Daniel." I froze. I shouldn't read it. I knew that. But my hands moved anyway. "Daniel, seeing you today brought everything back." "Emily." I know. I felt it too. My chest tightened. "Daniel, do you ever wonder what would have happened if we didn't let each other go?" "Emily." "All the time." I felt the room tilt. "Daniel, it should have been us." "Emily, I wish we never let each other go." The words burned into my eyes. I didn't realize I was shaking until the laptop almost slipped from my hands. She walked in then. "Hey, have you seen?" She stopped when she saw my face. "What's wrong?" she asked. I turned the screen toward her. I couldn't speak. Her expression changed from confusion to fear. "It's not what you think," she said quickly. "Then tell me what it is," I managed. "It was just a moment." "A moment?" My voice cracked. "You wish you never let him go." I was emotional. "About what? Our wedding?" She stepped closer. "I love you." "Do you?" I asked. "Or am I just the safe choice? That's not fair." "Is it true?" I pressed. "If he asked you to leave with him right now, would you?" She didn't answer. Silence can be louder than shouting. I felt something inside me collapse. Not slowly, not gently. It shattered. I had spent years believing love was simple, that loyalty was enough, that choosing someone meant they chose you back the same way. But staring at those messages, I realized I had been living inside a perfect lie, and for the first time, I understood something terrifying. She didn't choose me. She settled for me. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch, staring at the dark screen of her laptop, replaying those words in my head. When Emily walked back into the room, I was still there. "We need to talk," I said. She nodded slowly. "I know." I stood up. My chest felt tight. "You were supposed to be my future." Tears filled her eyes. "He was my past. I thought I could forget him." "Forget him?" I laughed bitterly. "You don't forget someone you're still wishing for. It's not like that." "Then tell me what it's like." She wrapped her arms around herself. "I met him for closure." "Closure," I repeated. "You told me he was just a friend. I didn't want to hurt you." "So you lied instead?" "I didn't plan for feelings to come back," she whispered. The word feelings hit harder than anything else. "How long?" I asked. "A few weeks. While we were booking venues?" She looked down. "Yes, while my mother was crying over flower samples." "Please don't bring your family into this." "They are already in this," I shouted. "Invitations are sent, Emily. Deposits are paid. My parents are proud. I told everyone you were the one." "I wanted to be," she said desperately. "I tried. I felt my voice shake. "Love isn't a test you attempt. You either know or you don't." She stepped closer. "When I'm with you, I feel safe." "I don't want to be safe," I snapped. "I want to be chosen." "You are chosen, not if you're still in love with him." Silence stretched between us. "Are you in love with him?" I asked. She hesitated. That pause told me everything. "Yes," she whispered. The word crushed me. "So what now?" I asked quietly. "I don't know." "You don't know?" I laughed bitterly. "It's simple. Either you marry me in 2 months or you walk away. I need time. You've had years." She started crying. "You're making this harder. I'm making this real." The next few days felt like a funeral that hadn't been announced yet. She stayed distant. I stayed angry. We moved around each other like strangers. 3 days later, she asked me to sit down. "I can't do this," she said. "Can't do what?" "The wedding." The word wedding sounded foreign coming from her mouth. "You calling it off?" I asked. She nodded. "It wouldn't be fair to you." Fair. My hands trembled. Fair would have been telling me the truth before I put a ring on your finger. "I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I never wanted to hurt you." "But you did." She wiped her tears. "Daniel asked me if I still loved him. And?" I said yes. I felt something inside me go numb. "So that's it?" I asked. "You're choosing him." "I'm choosing what feels honest." Honest would have been not accepting my proposal. She flinched. "Don't say that." "Why not? It's true." She packed her things that night. I stood by the door as she carried out the last box. "I hope you find someone who loves you the way you deserve," she said softly. "I hope you realize what you threw away," I replied. When the door closed, the apartment felt empty and loud at the same time. The next morning, my mother called. "Why is Emily's mother saying the wedding is canceled?" she asked, her voice shaking. "It's over," I said flatly. "What happened?" "She loves someone else." My mother started crying. "How could she do this to you?" "I don't know." My father took the phone. "Are you okay?" he asked quietly. "I will be. Come home. I need time." 2 weeks later, Ryan showed up at my apartment with takeout. "You seen social media?" he asked carefully. "No," he hesitated. "Daniel proposed." The words felt familiar and painful at the same time. "That was fast," I said. "They posted pictures." "Good for them." Man, you don't have to act tough. I'm not acting. But that night I punched the wall until my knuckles bled. I wasn't enough, I muttered. Ryan grabbed my shoulders. Stop that. This isn't about you being enough. She chose him. She chose history, he said, not the better man. I sat on the floor exhausted. What's wrong with me? Nothing, he replied firmly. You loved her honestly. That's not weakness. It feels like it. Days turned into sleepless nights. I replayed every conversation, every laugh, every moment. I ignored the signs. I hated her. I missed her. I doubted myself. One night I told Ryan, I will never be second choice again. Good, he said. Remember that. A month after she left, my phone buzzed. Emily. I stared at the screen for a long time before opening it. I hope one day you forgive me. That was it. No explanation. No regret beyond those words. I read it twice. Then I deleted it, not because it didn't hurt, but because I refused to keep proof that I had been replaced. 2 years changed me. I rebuilt my body first. Gym at 5 in the morning. No excuses. No distractions. Then I rebuilt my finances. I worked late. I took risks. I stopped chasing love and started chasing stability. Ryan noticed it first. You're different, he said one night. Good different or broken different? I asked. Focused, he replied. Colder. I learned my lesson. Don't turn into stone, he warned me. I won't, I said. I just won't be stupid again. That's when I met Sophia. She walked into a business networking event wearing confidence like armor. She introduced herself first. I've heard about you, she said. You rebuild companies from the ashes. I try, I replied. She smiled. I respect resilience. We talked about business for an hour, then about family, then about relationships. I hate cheaters, she said firmly. I'd rather be alone than lied to. I studied her face carefully. That's rare. My ex taught me that, she said. Bad experience? Toxic, she replied. Never again. Her certainty felt comforting. Our dates were easy, calm, no drama, no mystery. She asked about my past, and I told her enough. You were engaged? She asked one night. Yes, and? She chose someone else. Sophia squeezed my hand. That won't happen with me. I wanted to believe that. Months passed. I proposed quietly at a rooftop restaurant. She smiled without hesitation. Yes. The word felt safer this time, less explosive, more controlled. Then she introduced me to her world. This is Lena, she said one afternoon, my older sister. Lena looked at me carefully. You serious about her? I wouldn't be here if I wasn't, I replied. Good, she said. She's been through enough. I nodded. So have I. Lena softened slightly. Then don't hurt each other. Next came her father. Mr. Carter shook my hand firmly. I hear you're ambitious. I am. Ambition is good, he said, but loyalty is better. Can you provide both? Yes. He held my gaze for a long moment. We'll see. Then there was Mark. We ran into him at a charity event. Sophia's smile tightened when she saw him. That's my ex, she whispered. Mark approached confidently. Sophia. Mark, she replied evenly. He looked at me. You must be the upgrade. I'm the present, I said calmly. He smirked. Take care of her. She gets bored easily. Sophia grabbed my arm. Ignore him. Later that night I asked, does he still bother you? No, she said quickly. Mark is history. I don't even feel anger anymore. You sure? Yes, she insisted. I learned my lesson. I nodded, pushing away the faint discomfort in my chest. But small things started to bother me. Her phone buzzing at midnight. Who's texting? I asked casually. Work, she said. At 12? Time zones. I accepted it. Another evening, I noticed her staring at her screen with a distant look. You okay? I asked. Just tired. You've been tired a lot. Wedding planning, she replied, forcing a smile. At a family dinner, Mark's name came up unexpectedly. Lena rolled her eyes. He's still trying to show up everywhere. Sophia stiffened. He's irrelevant. Mr. Carter added, he lacks discipline. I watched Sophia's reaction. It wasn't anger. It wasn't indifference either. It was something unfinished. On the drive home, I asked gently, do you ever miss him? She looked offended. Why would you ask that? Because tension doesn't disappear that easily. She sighed. He was a big part of my life. That doesn't vanish overnight. I get that, I said carefully. I just need honesty. You have it, she replied. Weeks later, I saw Mark again at another event. He approached me alone this time. You think she's over me? He asked quietly. She said she is. He laughed under his breath. She always says the right thing. What's that supposed to mean? It means she hates losing more than she hates me. I stepped closer. Stay away from us. He raised his hands. Relax. I'm not the one planning a wedding. When I told Sophia about the conversation, she looked angry. He's trying to get inside your head, she said. Is he? Yes. You don't feel anything for him? I pressed. She met my eyes. I'm marrying you. The answer sounded familiar. Too familiar. That night, as she slept beside me, I stared at the ceiling. I remembered Emily saying almost the same words. She chose me, I had told Ryan back then. Now I whispered to myself, don't compare. I turned to Sophia the next morning. We're good, right? She smiled softly. Of course we are. I nodded. I ignored the late-night messages. I ignored the subtle distance. I ignored the way her body tensed when Mark entered her room. Because I made a promise to myself. I won't let my past trauma ruin my future, and this time I was determined to believe it. The night Sophia didn't come home, I told myself not to panic. At 10 p.m., I called her. No answer. At 11:30, I texted, where are you? Nothing. At 1 a.m., I called again, straight to voicemail. I sat on the edge of the bed staring at the door like it might open if I stared hard enough. At 3 a.m., I called Lena. Have you heard from Sophia? I asked. No. Why? She's not home. Lena paused. Maybe she's with friends. She would have told me. You're overthinking, she said. But her voice sounded unsure. I didn't sleep. At 7 a.m., the door finally opened. Sophia walked in quietly. No panic. No apology. Where were you? I asked immediately. She avoided my eyes. Out. Out where? With Mark? The name hit like a slap. You're joking. I'm not. I stood up slowly. You spent the night with him. I needed to talk. All night? Yes. I felt my chest tighten. Why? She crossed her arms like she was defending herself. Mark said he's changed. I needed to see if it was real. The words echoed in my head. You needed to see? I repeated. Yes, you're engaged to me. I know. Then what exactly were you testing? She looked frustrated. You wouldn't understand. Try me. He was my first love, she said. When someone like that says they've changed, it messes with your head. And what am I? I asked. A backup plan? That's not fair. Isn't it? She ran a hand through her hair. I didn't plan this. You never do, I muttered. What's that supposed to mean? It means I've been here before. She looked confused. Don't compare me to her. Then don't act like her. Silence filled the room. Did you sleep with him? I asked quietly. She didn't answer right away. That pause is an answer, I said. I was confused, she whispered. I laughed, but it came out broken. Confused people don't end up in someone else's bed by accident. I didn't promise him anything. You promised me everything. She sat down heavily. I needed closure. I felt rage rise inside me. Closure is coffee in public. Closure is a conversation, not disappearing all night. I had to know. Know what? If I still felt something. And she looked at me, and I saw it. I did. The honesty destroyed me more than a lie would have. So what now? I asked. I don't know. That's not good enough. I need space. You had space. You had freedom. You had trust. I'm sorry. I'm tired of sorry. For weeks after that, we barely spoke. She stayed distant. I watched her drift away while pretending I didn't see it. One evening, she stood in the doorway with her suitcase. I can't marry you, she said. I didn't react this time because he changed, because I need to figure myself out. With him, maybe. The word maybe was worse than yes. What about our investments? I asked. Our company. My father thinks it's best if we separate financially too. I stared at her. Separate. You'll get your share. That's not what I'm asking. She looked uncomfortable. Dad believes the growth came from our side. Our side, I repeated. I built that expansion plan. He disagrees. I laughed in disbelief. So I lose my fiancé and my money. It's not like that. It feels exactly like that. She zipped her suitcase. You'll recover. You always do. That's her comfort. I asked that I'm strong enough to survive you. She didn't answer. When she left, the silence felt heavier than before. A week later, headlines started circulating in our industry circle. Partnership dissolved. Financial restructuring. Investors questioning stability. I called Mr. Carter. You're backing her? I asked. She's my daughter, he replied calmly, and I was your future son-in-law. Business is business. So is betrayal. He hung up. I sat alone in my apartment that night, staring at the ceiling. Am I just a placeholder? First Emily, now Sophia. Am I the man women choose when they want safety, but leave when they want passion? My phone buzzed. Ryan. He came over without asking. She left, I said flatly. I know. You know? I saw Mark tonight, he said. My jaw tightened. What about him? He was bragging. About what? About winning. I looked up sharply. Winning? Yeah, Ryan said quietly. Winning? Yeah, Ryan said quietly. He said he never changed. I froze. What do you mean? He told someone he just wanted revenge. Revenge for what? For Sophia choosing you over him the first time. The room felt smaller. So this was a game? I asked. Ryan nodded slowly. He wanted to prove he could still take her. I felt something inside me snap again, but this time it wasn't heartbreak. It was clarity. I wasn't competing with love. I was competing with ego. And somehow I lost again. After Sophia left, the apartment felt like proof of my failure. I sat on the floor with my back against the couch and asked myself the question I had been avoiding. What is wrong with me? No one answered. I replayed everything out loud, like I was in court defending myself. I was loyal. Silence. I was honest. Still silence. I gave them security, stability, respect. The quiet felt like judgment. Ryan came over one evening and found me staring at old financial reports. You're spiraling, he said. I'm analyzing. You're blaming yourself. Maybe I should. He sat across from me. You think you caused this. I think I missed the signs, twice. That doesn't make you guilty. It makes me blind. Ryan leaned forward. So what? You're done with love? I didn't answer right away. I don't even know if love is real, I admitted. He frowned. That's heartbreak talking. No, I said slowly. It's pattern recognition. What pattern? I fall for women who aren't finished with their past. Ryan stayed quiet. I keep thinking I can outwork emotional damage. I continued, like if I'm good enough, steady enough, they'll settle down. And they don't want steady. They want unfinished business. He shook his head. You're being too hard on yourself. Am I asked, or am I finally being honest? A few days later, I forced myself to attend a meeting with one of my old investors, Mr. Allen. He had believed in me when my company was small. I had avoided him since the breakup with Sophia because I felt embarrassed. He looked at me carefully when I walked into his office. "You look tired," he said. "I've been busy. With business or regret?" he asked calmly. I exhaled. Both. He poured coffee for us. Talk. So I did. I lost my fiancée. Again, I said. Again, different woman. Same result. And the company? Damaged, but not dead. He nodded slowly. What do you think the problem is? I choose wrong. Wrong how? They leave, I said simply. He leaned back in his chair. That's the outcome. I'm asking about the pattern. I don't know. Yes, you do. I looked down at my hands. They both had unfinished stories with other men. And you knew? Not fully, but I sensed it. Yet you stayed. I thought love meant fighting. Mr. Allen studied me for a long moment. You don't have bad luck, he said quietly. You choose women who don't choose themselves. The sentence landed heavily. What does that mean? I asked. It means they were confused before you arrived. You thought you could be the answer. I wanted to be. That's not love, he replied. That's rescue. I felt exposed. So I'm the problem. You are not the problem, he corrected. Your pattern is. I stayed silent. You like potential, he continued. You see broken pieces and think you can hold them together. And that's wrong. It's exhausting and unfair to you. I rubbed my forehead. So what do I do? Blame them? Seek revenge? He shook his head. Revenge keeps you tied to them. Then what? Grow. I already rebuilt my life once. Then do it properly this time, he said. Not to prove something, not to compete, but to become whole on your own. His words stayed with me long after I left. That night, I stood in my empty office space. Half the team gone. Funding unstable. Reputation bruised. I spoke out loud to myself. No more rescue missions. I opened my laptop and started drafting a new business plan. Ryan called. What are you doing? Starting over. Already? I don't want to sit in this pain. That's not running. No, I said. It's building. Over the next weeks, I made hard calls. I need you on board, I told a former colleague. After what happened? He asked. Yes. This time it's cleaner. I met with smaller investors. I can't promise perfection, I told them, but I can promise discipline. Some said no. A few said yes. Each rejection felt lighter than romantic betrayal. Because this time I wasn't trying to be chosen. I was choosing myself. One evening, Ryan looked at me across the table and said, You seem calmer. I am. No anger? There's anger, I admitted, but I'm not feeding it. You don't want payback. I want progress. I finally understood something simple. Love didn't fail me. I kept offering it to people who didn't know what to do with it. That realization hurt, but it also freed me. And for the first time since everything collapsed, I felt something unfamiliar. Control. I didn't go looking for updates about Emily or Sophia. The updates came to me. It started with a random call from an old college friend. Have you heard about Emily? He asked. No, I said calmly. Why? She and Daniel aren't doing great. I stayed quiet. He's been acting weird, my friend continued. Super jealous. Doesn't like her talking to male coworkers. I almost laughed at the irony. Really, yeah, they argue a lot. People argue. This is different, he said. Trust issues. After I hung up, I sat in silence for a moment. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad either. Later that week, I ran into another mutual friend at a cafe. She looks tired, she told me. Emily, I mean, tired how? Emotionally drained. Daniel checks her phone. I remembered the night I found those messages. I remembered how she said she wanted honesty. Now she was living under suspicion. That night, Ryan asked, "Does it feel good?" "What?" "Hearing they're struggling?" I thought about it honestly. It feels predictable. You don't want to step in, say something? Like what? I asked. "Congratulations." He smirked slightly. "Fair." Days later, another message came through from someone who worked in the same industry as Sophia. "You still in contact with her?" he asked. "No." "You seen what's happening?" "What now?" "Mark cheated." I leaned back in my chair. "On her?" "Yeah. Apparently with someone from his gym." I closed my eyes briefly. "Of course. And it's messy," he added. "Public arguments." I ended the call and stared at the ceiling. I didn't feel triumph. I felt clarity. A week later, Ryan came over with news. "Mr. Moving, Carter's company is under investigation," he said. "For what?" "Financial irregularities." I let out a slow breath. That explains the sudden silence from their side. Investors are pulling back. I nodded. "They built everything on image. And image cracks fast," Ryan replied. He watched me carefully. "You're too calm." "What do you expect?" I asked. "Anger? Satisfaction? Something." I folded my arms. When Emily left, I wanted her to regret it. When Sophia left, I wanted justice. And now I see something different. What? They're living with the same instability they chose. Ryan sat down across from me. "So no revenge plan?" "No. Not even a little." I shook my head. "No, I want peace." He studied me. "You've changed." I had to. Another week passed before I heard more about Emily. She moved out for a few days, my college friend told me. "Why?" "Big fight. Daniel accused her of still thinking about you." I felt a strange twist in my stomach. "Me?" "Yeah. He thinks she compares him to you." I almost smiled at the irony. The man she chose now feared the man she left. That evening, I sat alone in my office going over new contracts. My company was steady again. Smaller, but stable. My phone buzzed with a message from Lena. "Can we talk?" she wrote. I hesitated, then replied. "About what?" "It's about Sophia." I called her. "She's not okay," Lena said quietly. "I'm not her emergency contact anymore." "I know. But you should know Mark left again." "I heard. He said he needed space." I almost laughed. "That sounds familiar." "She's humiliated," Lena continued. "And Dad's investigation is getting worse." "That's unfortunate." "Do you hate her?" Lena asked suddenly. I thought about it carefully. "No." "Why not?" "Because hate ties me to her." Silence filled the line. "She said you were the stable one," Lena admitted softly. "I was," I replied. "But stability isn't exciting when someone is addicted to chaos." After the call, I stood by my office window watching the city lights. Two women had chosen men who felt intense instead of secure. Now they were living inside that intensity. Ryan texted me later that night. "You sure you don't want to watch it burn?" I typed back, "No, I want distance." He called me immediately. "That's it? That's your victory?" "It's not a victory," I said calmly. "It's balance. They hurt you." "I know." "They embarrassed you." "I know. So why not enjoy this?" "Because if their downfall is my happiness, then I'm still depending on them." Ryan was quiet for a moment. "That's annoyingly mature." I smiled faintly. "I'm tired of reacting." Over the next month, more rumors surfaced. Emily and Daniel started couples therapy. Sophia avoided public events. Mr. Carter's name appeared in industry headlines. And me? I signed 2 new contracts. I hired back 3 employees. I slept through the night. For the first time, I wasn't checking my phone hoping for apologies. I wasn't imagining revenge speeches. I wasn't drafting angry messages I'd never send. I was calm. They were unstable. The power had shifted quietly, not because I fought, but because I finally stopped chasing. Emily's message came on a quiet Sunday afternoon. "Can we meet?" I stared at the screen for a long moment before replying. Why? I owe you an apology, in person. I thought about ignoring it. Instead, I typed 1 hour, public place. We met at a small cafe near my office. When I walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked thinner, tired. Hi, she said softly. Hi. We sat across from each other, no touching, no warmth. You look well, she said. I am. She nodded slowly. I'm glad. Silence stretched between us until she finally spoke again. I thought history meant destiny, she said. I was wrong. I studied her face. Once those words would have shaken me. Now they felt distant. Daniel and I aren't good, she admitted. I heard. She looked surprised. You heard. People talk. She stared at her coffee. He doesn't trust me. I almost smiled at the irony but stopped myself. Trust is fragile. I know that now. Do you? She looked up at me, eyes glossy. I made a mistake. I waited. I thought choosing him would quiet the what if in my head, she continued. But it didn't. And now? I asked calmly. Now I realize I lost someone who loved me without doubt. I felt something strange inside me. Not anger, not sadness, nothing. I did love you, I said simply. She swallowed. Do you hate me? No. Her eyebrows lifted slightly. Why not? Because I let it go. She leaned forward. Is there any part of you that wonders, what if? I met her gaze evenly. No. That seemed to hurt her more than shouting ever could. I'm sorry, she whispered again. I believe you, I replied. She hesitated before asking quietly, is there still a chance? There it was. The question hidden inside regret. I didn't answer immediately. Instead, I stood up. I'm glad you said what you needed to say, I told her. That's not an answer, she said softly. I know. I left her sitting there with uncertainty in her eyes. Weeks passed before the second knock on my past arrived. This time it was Sophia. She called late at night. I need to talk, she said. About what? Mark left. I closed my eyes briefly. Again? Yes. Where are you? Outside your building. I almost laughed at the boldness of it. But I went downstairs. She stood near the entrance, arms wrapped around herself. You look calm, she said. I am. She gave a weak smile. I'm not. What happened? He cheated. Again. I'm not surprised. I thought he'd changed. I warned you. I know. We stood in silence for a moment. You were the stable one, she said finally. I was scared of that. Scared of what? Of not feeling chaos, she admitted. With you, everything was steady, predictable. That's a bad thing. I thought it was boring. And now I'm exhausted. I watched her carefully. Once, her tears would have broken me. Now they felt like information. I sabotaged us, she said. I see that. Yes, I replied calmly. She flinched at my honesty. You don't even argue anymore. What's the point? I hurt you. I know. Why aren't you angry? I was, I said. I just grew past it. She stepped closer. If I asked for another chance, there it was again. The same question, different face. I'm not asking to go back to the same place, she rushed to add. I'm different now. Are you? I asked quietly. She hesitated. Mark leaving doesn't equal growth, I continued. Pain doesn't automatically teach. Tears slid down her face. I miss you. You miss stability, I corrected. Maybe that's love. Maybe, I said. Or maybe it's comfort. She looked at me like she was trying to see if there was still space inside my heart. For the first time in my life, I felt something powerful. Control. Not because I wanted to hurt them, but because I wasn't desperate anymore. Emily wanted redemption. Sophia wanted safety. Both wanted another chance. I looked at Sophia and said the only honest thing in my chest. I learned something important. She searched my face. What? I held her gaze but didn't answer, because this time, the silence belonged to me. I didn't call them. They came, or maybe they expected me to. Either way, I was ready. Emily arrived first. Her heels clicked against the sidewalk. She looked tense, her eyes searching mine like she hoped for forgiveness. "I need to say something," she started. "Then say it," I replied calmly, keeping my voice steady. She hesitated. "I know I hurt you. I was selfish. You didn't lose me to him," I interrupted. "You lost me to your doubt." Her eyes widened, and she opened her mouth. But I held up my hand. "Don't speak," I said. "I don't need excuses. I need honesty." "I was scared," she whispered. "I didn't know what I wanted." "Then you made a choice," I said, "and that choice wasn't me." She looked down, finally silent. Before I could process her expression, Sophia appeared, looking exhausted and guilty. "I need to explain," she said, voice shaky. "I messed up. I'm me. You didn't want love," I said, cutting her off. "You wanted comfort, stability, a safety net. You didn't see me for who I am." She flinched. "I thought I did." "Thought isn't enough," I said. "You learned that too late." Her lips quivered. Stop," I said softly but firmly. "I'm done with justifications." They stood there, two versions of regret, and I felt nothing but clarity. I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Later that day, I met Clara in my office. She was quiet, always patient, never demanding, and always steady. "You're late," I teased lightly. "I like arriving when the energy is calm." She replied, smiling faintly. I closed the door. "I needed this," I said. "Time away from distractions." She nodded. "They'll figure it out eventually." "They don't matter anymore," I said. "Not like they used to." Clara leaned against my desk. "You've grown a lot." "I had to," I admitted. "Pain teaches lessons you can't ignore." "You're choosing yourself," she said quietly. "Not them, not the past." "Yes," I said firmly. "I'm choosing me." We went over plans for the new project. Clara suggested ideas I hadn't thought of. I listened. I agreed. I made decisions without fear of approval. At one point she paused and said, "You seem different today." "Lighter." "I am," I replied. I stopped carrying their choices. I stopped reacting to what I cannot control. Clara smiled, just faintly, and went back to her notes. No judgment, no expectation, just presence. Later, I stepped onto the balcony. The city stretched beneath me. Lights flickered like scattered stars. I breathed in deeply. I thought about Emily, about Sophia, about everything they had taken and everything they had shown me, and I understood something essential. They thought they chose the better man, but in the end, I chose myself, and that was the moment I stopped losing. No one could replace me. No one could diminish my worth. I turned back toward the office, toward Clara, toward the life I was rebuilding. I didn't need closure from them. I didn't need apologies. I had something stronger: control, self-respect, freedom. The mistakes, the heartbreak, the betrayals, they became lessons, not chains. I smiled faintly, almost to myself. I was no longer reacting to their chaos. I was creating my own order. Every step I took, every decision I made from now on was mine. I didn't look back at the past. I didn't wonder about lost chances or unfinished stories. I had my own story now. A story where I was not a second choice, not a placeholder, not a shadow of someone else's desire, just me, and that was more than enough. The sun set behind the skyline and I felt light for the first time in years. Not happiness exactly. Calm, control, power over my own life. The weight of their choices, their regrets, and their chaos lifted from my shoulders. I let it go, fully. I whispered quietly, "This is mine, all mine." Clara glanced up from her papers. "You mean that, don't you?" "I do," I said, completely. The city hummed beneath us, indifferent. The past lingered only in memory, and for the first time, I felt untouchable. I had chosen me,